Do you want to see the new MCU Spider-Man team up with the MCU Punisher? Well, I've got a little something for you. We are talking about the 2017 movie Pilgrimage. Now, this stars Tom Holland, who, of course, is our new Spider-Man, along with John Bernthal, of course, is the Punisher on the Netflix TV series Daredevil and the soon-to-be Punisher TV show, and along with Richard Armitage, who, of course, is Thorin Oakenshield in the Hobbit movies. And the story here takes place in the 1200s, and focuses on a group of monks living in rural Ireland, and they are kind of the keepers of this holy artifact that we could have seen in a little bit of a prologue what it's all about. And they get a visit one day from a travelling monk from Rome with orders to take this artifact to Rome, and therefore they are kind of bound by duty to escort this guy to Rome, basically, to kind of deposit this artifact there, despite the fact they don't really want to. They think it's a bad idea. Along the way, we kind of meet various other characters. We meet a kind of group of kind of Norman warriors, essentially. And they could be friends, they could be foes. You'll have to watch the movie to find out. They'll have clashes with a group of kind of like pagan type sort of warriors, essentially, as well. And obviously, what transpires, you'll have to watch the film to actually find out. So, let's talk about what works and what doesn't work with Pilgrimage. We'll talk about any negatives, get them out of the way first of all. The only real big one for me is that this film is somewhat predictable. I don't think it really ever kind of surprised me in any particular way. It maybe foreshadows things a little bit too obviously. We'll see signs that, you know, someone might not be on the up and up pretty early on, and it's kind of no surprise when it turns out to be true. Things like that. So, no real surprises here, and I think it kind of tipped its hat to what's happening maybe a little bit too early. The only other thing, which is more of a minor gripe, was that Tom Holland here is playing, it's obviously someone from Ireland, and his accent, I feel, was a little bit kind of sloppy here and there. He kind of goes in and out. His acting generally is pretty good. Doesn't actually say all that much, to be fair, but when he does speak, the Irish accent seems to come and go with like the wind, basically. But what does work? First of all, I think the directing here is fantastic. Really, really good. Brendan Muldowney, and he's the director here, really captures a kind of gritty and kind of mystical feel. It reminded me a little bit of Robin of Sherwood, the great 80s TV show. And it has these kind of fantastic shots of kind of these misty bogs and these kind of travellers going through it, and it almost looks like it's a fantasy film. I mean, I call it a historic fantasy because it's not based on a true event, but you know, obviously it's not in it. It's based in our world, really. But it really looks fantastic. I think that the shot composition, obviously the sets, all that set dressing, the duck design, all looks fantastic. And I've got to say the acting here is all pretty good, with the exception of maybe Tom Holland's. I wouldn't say he's bad acting, but his kind of accent is just a little bit kind of in and out. It's all quite good. I mean, Richard Armitage may ham it up just a tad, but John Bernthal I thought was really good. Even though he's actually a mute, he does give quite a strong performance here as a man who has kind of got this kind of like past that it's only ever hinted at, which is quite good. And does a bit of commentary as well, whether it was intentional or not, about how religion can be kind of manipulated to suit your own needs. We see a couple of examples, you know, of this, basically people kind of using religion to basically get their own ends means to an end, and kind of get other people to do what they want by using religion as a kind of a crux, really. So that was quite interesting, and we kind of see that happening all throughout history. So a bit of a touchy subject maybe, but I thought it had a little bit of commentary on it. We do see some action scenes in this, so the last third of this film more or less is a kind of a chase movie. And there are some infrequent action scenes, but they are very good, very bloody, very violent, and you do really feel the kind of the blood and the mud all kind of mixing, and to make for quite well staged and exciting scenes. All the characters here are all very interesting. You all kind of bought into all the characters, even some of the minor characters. I thought were all very well kind of fleshed out, and you did care about them, even though you knew some of them were going to be pure cannon fodder. Overall, I thought this is a very enjoyable film. Very kind of minor complaints this one. It looks a fantastic film. If you're a fan of kind of like medieval kind of historic films, then you might want to check this one out. It's a fairly simple plot, and I don't think the plot is particularly remarkable, but it's well acted, well shot, and you have a good time with it. I'll give this movie a solid 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me comments, and I shall look forward to you next time. Bye for now.